guys, happy Halloween. Check out my new shirt that I bought at Atomic Horror in Orlando. How cute is this? Yeah, so if you haven't watched that video, I just posted that recently. I'm also sitting right next to my Halloween costume this year, which I was Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Check out my little basket, which came without Toto. So as you can see, I had to improvise. And I'm actually noticing that he's got green on his face. That's because my boyfriend was the Wicked Witch. If you guys want to see our adventures from Saturday night, I'll be posting those pictures on my Instagram story today. So if you're on there, it's Leslie Love Film Locations. Let's see. So this trip that we took to Sleepy Hollow was originally not going to be made into a video. I wanted to just go and enjoy my day. Plus, I had only seen the movie and I had seen it so long ago that I didn't feel comfortable enough to make a video because I didn't feel like I knew enough. And so I started reading The Legend of Sleepy Hollow right before the trip, but I never finished. But either way, once I got there, I was like, you know what? I should still make a video because it would make such a great Halloween content. So here we are. So I wrote a couple things down so I wouldn't forget anything. I just want to say a few things before this video starts. But as we all know, Washington Irving is the author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was published over 200 years ago in 1820, which I'm like, what? So crazy. But we wanted to visit the real life locations where the history, where it all began. And so 25 miles from New York City, actually 25 miles north of New York City, is where you find the town of Sleepy Hollow, which is what Washington Irving based all his locations about in his story, which is insane to me that he didn't even live there when he wrote the story. He grew up there, then he left, eventually moved back after some time, I don't know exactly when, but he wrote the story shortly after the French Revolution, and it was all out of memory, which is brilliant, honestly. So what else? So eventually he moved to this small farmhouse, which he then later built onto it, and you'll see it in this video, which unfortunately they did not allow video or pictures inside, so you won't be able to see it inside, but you can find pictures online. It's beautiful inside, and it's called the Sunnyside Estate, and that's where he wrote other countless famous stories as well, and that's where he also passed away, unfortunately. So the story of Sleepy Hollow tells the tale of Ichabod Crane, an outsider who arrives into town and pursues a beautiful young woman called Katrina Van Tassel. He is then himself pursued by a local phantom known as the Headless Horseman. So creepy. The legend goes that he was a henchman soldier who lost his head to a cannonball while fighting for the British. He was buried, but it was said that he rises from his grave at night in search of his missing skull. The original tale was just 24 pages long, which I'm like, really? Oh, that's crazy. I could have finished that book if I really wanted to. And it just seems to grow more popular each year, which is true because right before us going, I just became like so obsessed with this story, even though like I've known about it for so long, but I don't know, it's just that excitement of going to the real life locations of something like this legend. I don't know, it's just so cool. The story has also spawned countless adaptations. Most notably is Disney's 1949 classic, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. And then in 1999, Tim Burton, put out his version of it called Sleepy Hollow, starring Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. And that's the one I have seen, which I'm sure all of you probably have seen it. And there's been countless of films, and I believe there was even a TV show that came out not too long ago. So yeah. Oh, and then one thing that I didn't feel very comfortable about in this when I was making the video was the bridge, which I was very confused about. I know that there was like a new bridge that they put out, and then there's a sign there that that tells you everything about the Headless Horseman and stuff, but I believe the original covered bridge was was inside the cemetery, and I couldn't get to it because there was like construction and stuff, and they weren't allowing anybody to get to it. So I couldn't even show it to you. Yeah, I was still very confused, still kind of confused about it, like where exactly the original covered bridge was. If you guys want to tell me in the comments, I would love to read more about it. I'm still trying to know more about this story, and eventually I want to finish reading the book. But enough chit chat for now. I bring you the real life locations of the legend of Sleepy Hollow. I hope you guys like it. Hey guys, so right now I am in Tarrytown, New York, really close to Sleepy Hollow, and I wasn't going to make a video. I was just going to enjoy my day, but I thought, you know what, the legend of Sleepy Hollow is a really cool tale, and I would love to show you guys around. So even though I'm not fully prepared, I want to bring you guys along on this journey, so let's do it. Okay, so right now we're in Horse Feathers. It's a really popular restaurant here in Tarrytown, and the decoration here is so cute. There's actually a mural on the side of me. You can kind of see it from here. And Irving is actually over there, so I'll try to show you guys a little bit. Yeah, you can see over there the mural. The decorations on the top here, you can't see it from here, it's so cute. And over there, I just love this. Look at the bar. So cute. Look, it's like he's welcoming us to Tarrytown. Look who's over there. Oops, sorry, those are my sunglasses. The Headless Horseman. Ah. So welcome to Sleepy Hollow. Settled in 1640. Really busy road, actually. You see what I mean? I'm like, all right, calm down. And look at this. I've arrived at the Headless Horseman sculpture. Look how cute. They have it decorated for Halloween. Love it. Look at that. Chasing, is that supposed to be Ichabod? 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 I don't know how to say that right, but you get the picture. Headless Horseman Bridge, described by Irving, and the legend of Sleepy Hollow formerly spanned the stream at this point. So this is where the old covered bridge used to be. I was on that side too. I was thinking it was over here, but I guess it spanned from one side to the other. Sleepy Hollow Bridge, erected to the memory of Washington Irving, 1733 to 1859. Oh, that's so pretty. Gosh, that's so pretty. And here's the old Dutch church. Actually, if you go up this way, you can actually see the real live inspiration of who was supposed to be Katrina. Her grave is actually here. There's another character, I think, Brown Von Duke or something like that. I forget his name right now. He's also buried here, as well as Washington Irving's. But her grave is actually right there. This white one right here. This is hers. Eleanor Van Tassel. That is the inspiration for Katrina Van Tassel. Oops. Alright. The old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow, built in 1687 by Frederick Philippe, first lord of the manor, and used since, except in Revolution. Old Dutch church. Dutch Reform Sleepy Hollow Church has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark under the provisions of the Historic Sites Act of August 21st, 1935. The old Dutch Church of Sleepy Hollow. Look at that sign. Wow. So cool. So if you go around the church, around back this way, you'll be able to see her grave. So this is who I was talking about. This is the real life inspiration of Katrina. It says Calla Brush, but if you go down here, you can see her name right here, Eleanor Van Tassel. That's so wild how he based his surroundings on this tale. All right, and then over here, if you walk over here, the real life inspiration of Bram van Brut. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong, but the real life inspiration, he's buried here too. His name is Abraham Martling, and I'll show you his grave as well. And right over here, right in the center, memory of Abraham Martling. This would be the inspiration of Brawn Bones. It says right there, let me see if I can read it, who died of, I can't really read it, and painful illness. But as you can see right here, Abraham I'm guessing that's supposed to say Martling, 1743 to 1830. Brawn Bones. Inspiration. It's pretty wild. There's all kinds of small little details in this cemetery that I find very interesting, like this one. But look at the cemetery. Wow, all the fall colors going on. All right, we're gonna go try and find now Mr. Irving's last resting place. Like I said, I know he's up in a hill somewhere, so I'm gonna try to find it before they close. So pretty here. I don't know if that sounds weird to say in a cemetery, but it's just so gorgeous. Look at this. The legend of the Headless Horseman leaders his horse nightly among graves in this churchyard, according to the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Author Washington Irving, which is who we're trying to find right now. This is a really nice cemetery, right? I just think it's very pretty, like the grounds and with the trees. house according to this sign right here. But I wanted to show you guys these. Look at this. So I heard if you do the tour here, they bring you inside of these. Maybe not this one, but that looks so creepy. Wow. Yeah, maybe not these in particular, but the tour is actually really, really cool, I've heard. Wow, this is so pretty. Look at the door. Huh. What do you see over here? These mausoleums are so nice. I wouldn't mind if they put me in one of these. Look up there. Alright, let's go find Mr. Irving. Because we have to. And here he is. Of course, you can't get in there, but you can see right there the Irving family grave plot, and I believe he is over there where that flag is. Am I right? Can't really see well. So it says Washington Irving's grave, home of Sunnyside, the old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow, which Irving immortalized in legend, our national historic landmark. Sorry. Yeah, so I was right. The one right there with the two flags, Washington Irving right there. April 3rd, what does that say? 1783, and then November 25th, 1859. Okay, so I came a little ways into the cemetery to show you guys a statue. I don't know if I'm going up the right way, but man, this is steep. It's called the Bronze Lady, and there's a lot of stories about her, and she's known to be given bad luck if you touch her face. If you sit on her lap, you'll have bad luck, or you can die. I mean, there's all kinds of stories and superstitious about it, so I wanted to find her and show you guys. Okay, it took me a little bit. I'm totally out of breath, but here she is, the Bronze Lady. So I can't remember all the details at the moment, but yeah, she's known for giving people bad luck. If you touch her face, something will happen to you in the next 24 hours or something. There's a lot to be told of the Bronze Lady, so I will make sure to do a voiceover. The Bronze Lady has haunted Sleepy Hollow Cemetery for over 100 years. Larger than life and cast in bronze, the towering figure watches over the mausoleum of the Civil War General Samuel Thomas. Though her rather sleepy visage appears more sad than threatening, legend says that at night she comes to life and wanders the cemetery grounds, terrifying anyone who may enter on a dare. According to lore, as you get closer to the Bronze Lady, you'll hear her weeping. If you knock on the door of the General's mausoleum once or 3 times, depending on whose instructions you follow, you'll have bad dreams that night. Finally, if you dare to approach and sit on the Bronze Lady's lap, she'll allegedly cry tears of blood. If you further insult the statue, say by hitting it in the face, you'll be cursed for life. So spooky. Sent it to Village of North Tarrytown by the Central Committee. So this place is closed, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit closer. This is the manor that you also hear about in Irving's Tale. They do tours, which I'm pretty sure that by now they're closed. I'm not really sure. There are people in there right now. I see a lady right there, but you know, you can kind of see it from here a little bit. So I'm right in between right now. So this is, okay, so let me back up a little bit. So right now this is like the fair going on. There's a bunch of tents out here, and this goes all the way down the road, and there's drinks and all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to show you guys the fire trucks of Sleepy Hollow because they all have something special on them, and I just think it's so cool. Look at that. And then there's more over here, so I want to show you these. Look at that one there. So cool.
This is all about.
Who's up there? Oh, look here. It's just so cool. It's fire trucks. And then of course here's a famous photo up here with the clock tower. So you know I gotta get my picture taken here. Yeah, so cool. Busy road today, actually. Okay, so now we've arrived to Washington Irving's house, which you kind of have to get tickets for to do the tour. So I don't know whether I want to do the tour yet, or I just want to walk the grounds and look at the house and show you guys the house. But I'm walking towards it right now. Okay guys, so I decided to buy a ticket because I've always wanted to see the cottage, and it's just so pretty. I had to pay $12.80 or something for it, and there's going to be like a storyteller here. There's like people in costumes that, you know, tell the whole story. But for me, I just want to see it, and I don't think you can video or take pictures inside, so either way I won't be able to show it to you guys anyway. There's the cottage. It's so pretty. People are waiting to get inside. Nice. Barely see the front though, but it's pretty pretty. You can see it from like the side too. Oh, it's so pretty. Wow, so cute.
Right at the end of the Revolution, he was the 8th of 8 children, so he was the baby of a large family. He grew up and was educated in the city, but he spends the bulk of his adult life traveling. First all around the eastern part of the United States, and there goes the train. Eastern part of the United States all the way up into Canada. Then 17 years in Europe. Finally comes back from Europe and goes out west for 3 years. 1835. He's 52 years old. He's never had a permanent address. Hard to compete. It's time to settle down. So he comes here and buys a 10-acre farm for $1,800 and designs this house. Now the house reflects all of these many travels, particularly his European European trends. So as you look at the house, he built it in 2 sections. Everything you see to the left was built in 1835. The big tower on the right, 1846. So you have a big Spanish tower. You have a Florentine roof, English chimneys, Dutch step gables, Romanesque arches in the porte cochere, and on the riverside of the house, an Italian piazza. All these different elements make up the house.
Cool.
I'm sure you've noticed the vines.
All right, guys, so I just finished my tour at the Washington Irving house, which I totally recommend if you come to Sleepy Hollow. They don't allow photography in there, so I'm sorry I wasn't able to show you guys, but either way, I really hope you guys enjoy this little adventure with me here. Sorry, there's a little girl like tapping on the floor, but I really hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and happy Halloween!